I don't know. Geno's singing, "We're gonna do this though," whatever it is. This is. See, there he goes again. He's a very musical people, the Mroskos of Iowa.
Dude, it's turned into a shoot. We worked the work into a shoot.
I know everybody says you're from Iowa. I've done like the political trick of if you say it enough times, people will believe it.
I believe it. I don't live in Iowa. I wake up and I'm like, man, fucking Iowa today. And I walk outside and it's actually Illinois. So yeah.
Shit.
And then I'm in my personal emails. I was emailing with Lady J, our friend Lady J, and she said something about me being in Iowa, and I just accepted it as though it's true. And I was like, yeah, I know it does suck out here in Iowa.
Well, it's like, I mean, people mispronounce. People say my last name is Rueter all the time, and it usually gets to where I just don't even argue with them anymore.
Rueter?
Yeah, like the news service.
Like Hulk Hogan is a Reuter?
Is he a Reuter? I don't know what that means. Oh, a Reuter. Oh, allegedly.
Allegedly. Used to be. He confirmed it at one time. Don't sue me.
True.
Rueter, right?
Rueter, yeah.
Rueter, as in Australian slang. Rueter in Australian slang is like fucker.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
It's the person that cleans out your toilets. That was always the big joke when I was a youngster. Roto Rooter and Mr. Rooter, different plumbing services. And if you go over across the pond in England, as I learned when I was like doing tech support, that's how they say the word router. The piece of equipment, they say a router.
Sean, what's your middle name?
It's D. It's Dominic.
It's Dominic? Is that a shoot?
That's a shoot.
Sean Dominic Rueter.
Yep.
Dom.
That was my great-grandfather's name, Dominic Angelucci.
From Fast and the Furious. Vin Diesel's character.
That's Dom Toretto, isn't it? Not Dom.
Right, but I'm just saying Dom.
So right, yes.
Dom Rueter.
Yep.
And you're just getting more and more interesting by the day, and...
How many minutes into this are we without having said
that was my segue
thing about pro wrestling or Raw? Oh, we made a Hulk Hogan joke, so that counts.
That was my segue. I say you get more and more interesting by the day, which is the complete opposite of Raw, which gets less.
I'm sorry, I fucked it up. I stepped on your line. Sorry. Damn it.
It's the opposite of Raw, which gets less and less interesting by the day.
Yes, it does.
And yeah, it's bad. So, what's up, Sean?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm terrible because I woke up early to do this show. I scared everyone. I told them it was canceled.
I know. I missed that whole. I wasn't even in on that work.
They called me a monster. I felt bad, and not so bad because I got to use Eddie Guerrero "I Lied" picture in one of the threads.
I saw it. It's in this. It's awesome.
You have to enjoy the little things in life, and
that's right.
Because when you watch this show for a living, which is what I do.
Not Cageside Live, you mean Raw, right?
Yeah, Raw.
Okay.
My God. What? Okay. For the third week in a row, I gave the show an F.
You did.
I didn't want to. I think people are getting the impression. It's why I straight up did a whole separate post. I told people on Twitter, I said, convince me it wasn't an F. And the most compelling argument was, well, New Day and Team Bad danced together. They put dicks on their heads, and they twerked. And if your most compelling case is 30 seconds of 6 people with a dick on their head twerking, man, that's a bad show. That's a bad show, everybody. And it's not porn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, you know what? Give me your grades. And I'll make a whole new post with all of your grades. And there were like 60-some people. And there were 35 Fs. And again, to the people who are, how is this an F if there was stuff that you liked? Again, I might even do a post on this. If 50% of your show is good, it's an F. Not even 50% of the show was good. You're telling me there was one good segment out of what? How many segments in total? 10, 11? And one of them was good? And it's not even technically a segment. It was just a throwaway 30 seconds after a match and before the next segment. That is like textbook definition of an F. That's like F minus. That's like you're kicked out of the class because there's just no point in you even being here anymore. You're dumb as hell. And you can't learn. And you don't learn. That's WWE. They don't learn from anything ever. And wasn't there supposed to be changes?
Yeah,
Was that horseshit?
I don't know. There was no authority.
You're so defeated.
Well, here's another thing, just to talk a little shop too. I wrote the post about Meltzer's comment that he heard changes were coming, and then I got shit on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else about how I was an internet mark buying whatever Meltzer serves up or whatever. You know what? Fuck everybody. I'm just trying to get some clicks, and I even wrote the post, but nobody reads the post. Everybody just reads the fucking headline. I even wrote the post to say I don't think it's going to happen, but let's talk about what that would look like. And I still get fucking slammed, and I shouldn't take it personally, but I'm just a little sensitive right now. And that's anyway. There was, yes, the rumor was that the surveys, they sent out 2 surveys to the Mythical Fan Council last week, asking what they should do to make Raw more watchable or something. Basically, what do you think about Raw and compare it to NXT? And Meltzer made a side comment on Wrestling Observer Radio that he heard that some shit was coming down, that they were going to do some things in response to those surveys, especially the one where they asked people to compare it to NXT. And I didn't see any, that we got a lot of long matches, but that's not really NXT's thing. Even on takeovers, they don't do 45-minute Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens matches, however fucking long that thing was. Like I said, the authority wasn't on there. Is that like a change? They're going to move? I don't know. I didn't see any real changes. Little things, but other than that, same old, same old.
Well,
Show opening promo. Same formula. Longer matches.
That post did a lot of hits. So mission accomplished.
Okay, well there we go.
But also, yeah, and it's a thing too where and Alvarez and Meltzer both ran into some pushback for that, even saying that, and then people did posts reporting on what they said, had reported on, and then they got mad because people kind of took it however they wanted to. And you can't, we don't decide how people digest things and disseminate information that they're given. There are a lot of really dumb people in the world. So you run into a situation where you say changes are coming to Raw. Now, and then people assume Raw will be a totally different show that night. Right. That's not at all what was said. At all. Just because you took that from that, that doesn't mean that's what was said. It doesn't mean that's what was intended. They could probably do a better job of being more clear on those things, but essentially it's they know there's a problem, and we know that because they sent the survey out. Right. And sending a survey out doesn't mean necessarily that there's a problem. It's just, this is a corporate, this is not we've done this. We've sent out surveys. It's a thing you do. You try to get better. I mean, you have to always be improving. They know there's a problem. And I think they did respond because on their website, the opening match, they're promoting it like the biggest match in Raw history. The 16-man tag team fatal 4-way elimination breaker 1 9er 8827 10-4 good buddy match that occurred. Biggest match in Raw history. So I think they think that it was a curveball, a change, something new and different to have League of Nations come out and they say words, and then the Wyatt family comes out and says words, and then the geriatrics come out and say words, and Rhino shows up for some reason, and the family comes out and they don't say words. We go to commercial. We've got an explosive situation. Cialis, please be.
Cialis has been known to lead to explosive situations.
You know what I mean? Like commercial. I don't. That seemed strange. But then we come back and there's just a match going on, and it's Cole telling us how it's such a big deal, and it's like, boy, they don't get it. They don't understand. Like, I can see how in a panic to just do something right, they thought, let's just throw a bunch of fucking our most over groups and just have them in a match.
But they aren't even their most over groups.
Well, nobody's really over.
Well, the New Day's over, and they weren't in this match, right?
I don't even know if they're over anymore. I'm tired of their bullshit.
They sell merch, baby. They move merch.
Yeah. Fuck the unicorn headbands, the dick on your head.
Headband dildos sold out, according to Kofi.
In 5 hours.
That's
which that makes sense. I wanted one. I didn't get one, but I wanted one.
I didn't.
I would love to walk around in the world with a dick on my head. That's what I saw that and thought. I live like 5 steps away from a Walmart. I badly want to get the New Day dick on my head and walk through Walmart with it. And I wouldn't be out of place one bit.
I did not want a New Day forehead phallus until you just gave me that idea. Now
exactly, right? You walk in and I think you have a certain kind of swagger when you have a dick on your head.
Yep.
And then
and not a jack swagger.
When you're in Walmart and you have a dick on your head, you're just like, I'm amongst my people. This is where I should be. I imagine that's like what. That's like utopia, man. It's like that's when you reach. You just ascend. I think that's my idea of heaven. Walking through
Walmart with a dick on your head. Oh shit! Now I'm thinking about other places I want to go with a dick on my head, though, and just act like I don't know. Act like it's no big deal. Just
Want to go to a Ring of Honor show with a dick on my head.
That will happen. That's gonna happen.
That's happened already. They haven't had a show yet. Someone's got a dick on their head waiting in line for a ticket.
Final battle is gonna be nothing but people with dicks on their heads.
What a stupid show. What a stupid.
That means that whatever, I know it's becoming, we're never going to actually have t-shirts. It's just something we talk about. But I actually think that should be the first one. It should beat out that Not As Good As Brooklyn and Six Botches and all of it. I think What a Stupid Show, Cageside Live should be our first show. Because it's a joke. You don't know whether we're talking about ourselves or every wrestling program ever.
Oh, this is unquestionably a stupid show. What we do here is absolutely stupid. However, we are aware of this.
True.
We embrace this fact. We just try to laugh and have fun, and occasionally we rant and we talk about feelings, and sometimes we fuck each other. That's not a bad thing. I mean, I don't know. But you know what? The Cagesiders, they don't have a fucking clue what they want because they're mad about Sasha Banks, speaking of all this, putting a dick on her head and twerking in the ring right there live on Raw. What a time to be alive, man. They're mad about it. Sasha Banks put a dick on her head, started twerking in the ring, and the Cagesiders are like, whoa, what's this shit? And I'm like, I was reading it when I woke up today before we started doing the show, and I was like, they're mad about the one thing on this show that was, okay, actually, there were like 3 things on this show that were actually pretty good. And we'll get to those. Okay. One of them involved Zeb Colter. Best thing on this show was Zeb Colter. But
what a stupid show.
What a stupid show this is. So, oh my God, the best things on this show, I'll just list them. What a stupid show. Sasha Banks putting a dick on her head and twerking. Titus O'Neil interrupting Stardust, telling him to get some.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that makes my list, but we can talk about that later.
I like their interactions. And Zeb Colter responding to commotion in front of him by calmly driving away on his Walmart scooter.
No selling WWE storytelling by just scootering away. That was the best thing on the show. You're right. There's no question. We can debate the other stuff, but the Colter scooter. Scooters are just money. I mean, it's proven. Pro wrestling is better with scooters. People Power proved that to us, and now Zeb Colter is Exhibit A.
Power scooter, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it was, dude. He just swaggers in his face. We used to be racist friends. We used to be racist together. What the fuck happened to that, man? And then he just looks at him and he drives away. Just calmly, you know what? I am done. And then just drives away. What a stupid.
Well, we were talking about, you were mad that Cagesiders are mad, which I would say it's not all Cagesiders. I would say it's about 50-50, but there are a lot of people who are apparently mad that Sasha put a dick on her head and twerked. See, you can't not laugh when somebody says.
How can you be mad about this? It's awesome.
You cannot, there's no way to not laugh if you have any sentence that includes blank, put a dick on their head. That's funny. That is comedy gold, people.
Yeah, how can you possibly be upset about it? No, really,
so half the people are mad because they killed the boss. Apparently, She can no longer be a strong, independent heel woman because she has put a dick on her head and twerked. See, you can't not laugh. We're trying to be mad here, but Sasha did put a dick on her head. So
I think they were trying to avoid. They're hiring a media person who goes through and looks at what's happening on popular wrestling websites, and ours is one of the most popular. So I'm sure they're looking at my Fs and going, "What the fuck? This dude needs to come up off that F streak." And they're like, "Here's what we'll do: put a dick on a bunch of people's heads."
We will have a number of people wearing penises on their heads. There's no way he can fail that show
with this many dicks on this many heads. There's just no way he will. And then
there's a formula somewhere that just says.
But I gave it an F. Now, if you're listening, WWE, one more dick on one more head, you're getting at least a D-. If you put a dick on Michael Cole's head,
right? That's what I was going to ask. So does it matter? Are certain people's heads with dicks more valuable than other people's heads with dicks?
Absolutely. Anyone who's bald. If you're bald and have a dick on your head, that's the only thing to look at is the dick on your head. So I think that works pretty well.
So Ryback with a dick on his head is worth like 2 grades.
What did he say after he did the fucking taupe, right? Or he did the I don't even know. It wasn't even a move. He just sort of went and found the top rope and just chucked himself over it. And he hoped like hell he would land on Rusev, and it happened, and he got up and was like, "We're having fun." I was like, if that guy said that with a dick on his head, I'd give the show every A+ ever. It's the least surprising thing in the world that this show, you and I, are the most impressed by dicks on heads.
Oh, yeah.
It's the least surprising thing in the world. What a fucking stupid show. So, but no, so the Sasha thing, if I could be serious for a moment. There you go. That's what you do. Bring Lance Storm back, put a dick on his head, and say, if I could be serious for a moment.
Shout out to Alberta, Canada, wherever he's from. Saskatchewan.
Oh my God, that needs to happen. I'd forgive everything if Lance Storm got in the ring with a dick on his head and asked to be serious for a moment. Okay, but seriously, the Sasha thing.
What if Dean Malenko and Lance Storm wrestled like a 30-minute Broadway with dicks on their heads?
With dicks on their heads.
That's what I'm looking for. Whoever gets to say if you're on the WWE fan council, write that in next time.
By the way, people,
Malenko Storm Broadway with dicks on head.
Everyone asking about that, just go to the website and sign up. That's how you get on the fan council. You just send your email.
Really? They have my email. They don't put me on the fan council. Cancel.
Oh, you're media. You're not.
I'm not media.
Yes, you are. You are media.
Asshole on the internet.
We were on one of the surveys. They asked, "Where do you get your wrestling news from?" Yeah. Is it Kate from Cageside Eats? And I was like, "Don't tell them that. Don't say you get it from here. That'll increase scrutiny on us, and we can talk less about dicks on heads."
That's true.
So no, the Sasha thing. So we're gonna fucking get to that. I don't understand. So I get in a sense they want I think it's you want her to be something other than what she is, and also like the boss character. First of all, are we saying she is who she was in NXT? Is there not a difference there? Because I always felt like NXT and WWE are two sort of separate things. She is only what she is. What she is in WWE is different than what she was in NXT, right? I feel like that's the case with everybody.
I don't know. I think they play with that as it suits them. I mean, I don't think there's a rule, but I think it's pretty clear that the character we've got, the Sasha Banks character on the main roster, is not the Sasha Banks character from NXT.
But they did the package.
It's clearly not been that same character. She's got the same theme music. She wears the same glasses. She's got a little bit of the edge, but not the same. It's different. She hasn't had a chance to tell that story. And I would argue that story was told on NXT. She became the boss. She conquered. She was sort of humbled, and she sort of went out as a babyface, shaking Bayley's hand, and now she's a different version of that character on Raw.
Yeah, I mean they did play the when they did the Iron Woman match or the Iron Man match, they played the highlights on Raw, and so it was like, and then We Want Sasha stuff popped up, but I feel like too there's some parts of the, you know, I absolutely think there are times when it's appropriate to call someone out for bitching about shit that's you shouldn't, you know, it's not really a good complaint. Right? Mm-hmm. I don't think, you know, you just complain. You know, I don't think that's a valid argument usually. But there are times when I think it's odd to me, like the Becky stuff with Charlotte. She's dumb if she forgives her. Okay, well, you know, have you never once, like, you don't have any friends that someone cheated in a game of Monopoly or some shit that you're playing?
Fuck that. You know, that person is dead to me. We take Monopoly very serious here in the Rueter house.
Yeah, or like, you know, someone who you're close to did something to you that was, you know, not, or said something that was really bad, and you just drop them immediately, and if you don't, you're dumb. I think that kind of makes you a fucking sociopath, if that's actually how you are. So to be like, Becky needs to just bail on Charlotte right away, it's like, it's so not a human reaction to something like that. It's actually incredibly human to sit there and go, like, she very clearly was like, Charlotte, like, this is like, that's fucked up, dude. Like, why did you do that? Like, I don't understand. And Charlotte's like, no, it's cool, whatever. Like, we just need to, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Talk to her out of it. And Becky's like, you're my girl. Like, I don't want you to not be my best friend because you did a stupid ass thing. Right? So it's like, I'm going to forgive this. I go, does that make her dumb? No. She understood everything that had occurred. She'd be dumb if she just didn't get it. She does get it. But she's deciding, okay, you're my friend and you fucked up and did something dumb. That's okay. We'll move past that. We'll figure out a way to go past this. I feel like that's a human response. That doesn't make her just a dummy who should just drop her. Because that's a fucking psychopathic response. This is your best friend and you just ditch them because they did one bad thing? Like, fuck off. That is such a silly complaint. Now, we make fun of Sting being dumb, and she's not Sting levels of dumb, because Sting was 20 years into his relationship with Ric Flair, been getting fucked over once a week for those 20 years, and in the 21st year, he's like, you know what, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust that you don't do anything. It's like, there's differences there. Now, with the Sasha thing, was she not her boss character? Like, I don't get that complaint either, because she's having some fun with her friends. They very clearly established through social media that they're friends. You go, well, that's not a story for TV. It kind of is. They use social media on TV constantly. Like, this is part of what they do. They send you to social media. It's a huge part of what their business model is all about.
A lot of this stuff happened on WWE-owned social media, too. Didn't, like, the whole thing where they collided their little carts backstage? Wasn't that, like, I don't know if WWE tweeted it, but they picked up on it and shared it. And
they've encouraged it because it's good. It's a good strategy for social media to grow your followers, to be how they are. And so they just was, okay, you had a match and you won a match, and New Day decided they're going to come out. Like, what's wrong with that? That doesn't mean she's not a fucking psychopathic killer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We got into an argument about how she's not adorable.
She is fucking adorable.
You can't be adorable if you're a psychopath. You can have friends, but you cannot be adorable if you're a psychopathic killer.
Sure you can.
You're not adorable if you're slitting Izzy's throat at Full Sail. That you're not adorable at
that. But that's a different character. She's evolved past that.
I suppose you're right, but even if she was still that character, I don't think it's fair at all to be like, well, they killed the boss because she had some fun with one of her friends.
I agree. Yeah, I don't.
That's kind of silly.
And the thing, I mean, every performer who has any sort of lengthy career in the WWE, including dudes like Austin and The Rock. I mean, Austin did those dumb bits with Deborah's cookies, and
they were fucking hilarious.
They were, but they were dumb, right? I mean, they didn't ruin Stone Cold because he did a goofy
lot
bit.
Of people would disagree.
Well,
so I guess
I think history shows you that, you know, that's not like Stone Cold wasn't ruined for you because he did those skits.
Yeah, not to me.
I mean, in the long run, everybody still takes Austin seriously. They'll still pop for him.
Sure.
So everybody does stupid shit. And for what the other thing is, and I guess this is part and parcel with the internet, but everybody's freaking out. I mean, this is not. Last week, New Day was with League of Nations. We don't even know. Next week, they might pretend this didn't even happen. We don't know.
They said something about it in the promo they did.
Yeah, but I still, I mean, I would not put it past them to next week. We've moved on, and then they just occasionally do something to pop the crowd together. But I mean, how does an intergender stable work anyway?
Yeah,
we haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Yeah, maybe it's just the kind of thing where they just kind of nod at it.
Yeah.
You know? They don't really put focus on it, which I wouldn't mind that at all. That wouldn't be bad.
I mean, yeah, we don't know that all of a sudden Sasha is like Lana to Big E. I mean, we don't know that. That's what I mean. People are freaking out like she's ruined. You know, she had a goofy bit as they went to commercial
for 30 seconds.
We don't know anything yet.
She put a dick on her head and twerked. What's wrong with that? I mean, I don't know. I don't think it killed the character. First of all, the character hasn't even really been
doing anything, right?
Since I mean, she's aimless matches with the fucking Bella Twins. I'm not even the Bella Twins. Team Bella without without the star of the damn show. Right. God damn, we need Nikki and John back.
I mean, remember when
I'm calling them Nikki and John.
Everybody was thinking, oh, they're prepping Sasha for a title shot. She hasn't been anywhere near the title, and it's not that big of a division. You're basically near it because you don't have a penis, except for the one on your forehead. I mean, every woman is near the Divas title. She just quickly can be put into a feud with it, but they have kept her separate for months now. And so why not? Go have fun with the New Day, who are the tag champs, and one of the most over acts on the roster. I'm sort of, we talked about it on here before, with them, I'm kind of to the Jim Ross, Chris Jericho, I guess I'm an old fart point, where like I don't see how what they're doing is helping anything else on the show. They're entertaining, but they're just like a comedy act that shows up in the middle of the show and doesn't have anything to do with anything else.
Yeah, you can do that, but don't count on them to draw. Don't count on them to put people over. You know, it's just not how wrestling has ever worked. You know, funny don't draw money, but it's funny because we've gotten to a point where you just said, you didn't even stop to laugh, that it's, oh, well, they're in this because they don't have a dick other than the one on their forehead. And he just kept going.
That was clever. That shit right there. That's
what this show. Yeah, so I don't think it matters too much. And we spent a lot of time talking about that. I suppose we should deal with the rest of the show. You want to talk about the go home segment? Maybe the worst segment. Maybe one of the worst segments in Raw history. Absolutely the worst go home segment. And this is the same year that Roman Reigns had a game of keep away with the WWE title with Brock Lesnar.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
Man, how did this happen?
I think it's Wade Keller was like leading this charge on Twitter last night that what we're seeing is evidence that Vince is so fucking stubborn that he's going to go down with the ship. He's going to push what he wants to push no matter what. And that's what the final segment was to me. I mean, I like Roman Reigns as a person, what I know of him. I don't know him personally, but
seems like a good dude.
He seems like a good dude. He's a super talented in-ring performer. He used to, and he's really progressed there. He was not really strong on psychology coming out of the Shield. He is now. But Jesus Christ, he's one of the worst promos I've ever heard. And the fact that you would send him out there to die like this again. How many times have we seen him go out there to fucking bomb like this? People want to cheer him, and he talks, and they go, oh, wait, I don't know.
I don't think they do anymore. I think this turned me. Like, there was, a time not that long ago when I thought they need to put the belt on him. He's the guy, and all this. And I can remember even in the Shield days, I'd build the fucking company around him. Like, it's absolutely the right thing. They're making the right decision. And then they did. They started along that path, and it's become painfully clear. He is, of the top level guys, of the main event guys, of the guys that they've considered the top stars, he's one of the worst promos I've ever seen. He's terrible. There's been growth in Roman Reigns for years. He's gotten gradually better, pretty much at a sustained rate. That's gone. if last night showed me anything, it's that John Cena needs to come back now, and he needs to win the title, and Roman Reigns needs to go hang out in the mid card. And that's not going to fix anything, because I think they need to rebuild someone else. I don't even know who they could rebuild because of what they've done to the whole entirety of the fucking roster. And I think it's funny because when Vince was talking to Stone Cold about Undertaker's streaks, I don't think there's anyone on the roster who's in a position to beat Undertaker's streak other than Brock Lesnar. And it sucks that Steve didn't just say, "That's your fucking fault."
Yeah.
You understand that, you asshole. You get this, right? That's your fault, motherfucker, because you 50-50 book everyone to death. Fucking Tommy Dreamer eliminated the Wyatt family in the opening Fatal 4-Way elimination, which isn't how an elimination works, or Fatal 4-Way match. This is like, nothing makes sense ever. Tommy Dreamer in 2015, wearing so much spray tan, it's unbelievable, getting made fun of by fucking geek Adam Rose in a segment that'll do 10 views on YouTube. This show is so dumb. Reigns is awful. I'm not even and the Roman Empire, I got accused of fat shaming, body shaming Roman Reigns because I posted the picture of him in his college days.
He looks like a fucking linebacker. That's what they look like.
No, he looked like a defensive lineman.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
They didn't look at the follow-up tweets where someone was like, "Oh my God, did he slim down or does the vest just hide the gut?" I said, "No, he slimmed down." In football, it's encouraged to look that way.
Right. He's putting on a mask.
Yeah, and someone else tweeted and said he's talked about it before, and they had him eating fucking candy and all sorts of shit to gain weight because you need to be that big when you play football, especially on defensive or offensive line. He was a defensive lineman. I said, how's that body shaming? These fucking Roman fans, these 16-year-old girls, get out of my mentions. You're worse than the Bella Army. You know what? You know why? Because you're dumb as shit. The Bella Army is vicious and mean, and they're dumb, but the Roman Army's really dumb. But I don't even care. You people can hate us all you want. Be a fan of his all you want. Dude sucks. He is awful. You give him a microphone, and he was dying such a death. And I also saw Keller tweet. I
feel bad for him. I mean, if you've ever done any kind of public speaking, I don't know how you can't feel a little bad for the dude.
Some people have it, and some people don't.
Right.
You just don't got it, dude. I'm sorry. Like, it doesn't make him a bad guy. It doesn't mean we dislike the guy to say he sucks at what he does. But you are in a job that requires you to be able to do this. You cannot do it. It'd be like telling me to do this job with no fucking hands. I have to type, people. It's part of the gig. I can't. But we'll get him a fucking box that'll talk into his computer and it'll type the words for him, and then we'll push him to the sky because he's good at running a website. I am good at running a website. If I didn't have hands, I wouldn't be very good at it because I couldn't fucking do anything. It's like, and then you'd have to acknowledge that, and Sean would then be the guy who runs the show. But they won't acknowledge it. They're going, you know what? Despite his lack of hands, I'm gonna go ahead and push him to the moon because he's good at running a website. Because he's got the look, or he's got the, I don't know. It feels like one of those things where Vince pushed Shawn Michaels to the sky, even though the ratings were absolutely abysmal the whole time he was on top, because Vince wanted to fuck Shawn Michaels. Allegedly. Maybe Vince wants to fuck Roman Reigns, and I don't blame you. I want to fuck Roman Reigns too. He's a gorgeous man. I love looking at him until he smiles. But
it is true.
That's a weird-ass smile.
Because it's unnatural, just like everything else when he tries to talk.
So awkward, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's just you get social anxiety just looking at him.
Yeah.
Try to talk.
Yeah.
You get a hard on just looking at him, but
it's
different.
He's the guy who like every woman in the world meets, and they're like, I'm gonna fuck this guy, and then he talks, and then things change. And
maybe, I assume when he talks in a natural way to his friends that it's not that way. But when he goes out there and has to say things like, good line, professor, or, I thought the Irish had potatoes, but you have home fries. It's just, he's not He's probably not the top guy because the way the WWE is set up, the top guy has to be able to go out there and explain angles, and cut long promos. That's the model. Yep. So he shouldn't be the top guy. He should not be floundering as much as he is because you should be able to do what Paul Heyman always talks about doing, which is book to your guys' strengths and book around their weaknesses. And sending this guy out there to do a 20-minute promo with Sheamus, of all fucking people, who I kind of like, but he's another guy that's got fucking upper mid-card written all over him.
He's awful.
He's just not supposed to be in this spot. And like you said, it's Vince's fucking fault that no one has been cultivated to take over this spot. That we have been all in on Roman Reigns for 2 years, despite all of this evidence that he doesn't fit this role.
Remember when, I believe it was post-WrestleMania episode of Main Event, Reigns was in the ring with the Shield and Renee Young.
Mm-hmm.
And he did the What's My Name promo.
Mm-hmm.
That was good, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's gone. I'll never see that Roman Reigns again because we're to a point now where and then I've seen people say he said the Tater Tots line and it got over to the live crowd. And so he just sort of clung to it. He kept saying it. Our buddy Scott Christ, Tape Machines Are Rolling, with his fucking hilarious tweet. He just kept saying, hell, son. Kept calling Sheamus son, which, that's weird. Doesn't really fit the character. Is he a Southern guy? He's a Samoan dude, right? I don't understand. Hell, son. Get in here in the ring, son. Tater Tot, son, hell. And then Sheamus is like, but you have a fort. Get son, Tater Tot, get in the ring, Tater Tot. You still have the fort, though. But your fort, you have a fort. I'm not getting in while you have a fort. And then he got in and he beat him up with the fort. What a stupid show. I can't deal with it.
Well, this is the other reason that this show is an F. And to me, we were talking about this before we went on. This was my least favorite show since Survivor Series, actually, because I couldn't even get mad last night. They broke me.
You couldn't even joke.
I didn't care. Yeah, it was. I wasn't finding anything funny about it. I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't disgusted by. I just didn't care. If I didn't have this job, I would not have watched a second of it. I would have watched the 5 minutes that started it and turned it off and never come back.
Well, the Cowboys versus Washington football team game wasn't much better. Apparently, I'm not saying it. Not on the air.
Who's the Cowboys quarterback now? Jesus Christ.
Matt Castle.
Man, remember when that guy got paid? That's like Roman Reigns. That's like Matt Castle is Roman Reigns. Somebody thought he was the guy.
That is.
But eventually, even the Chief said no, he's not the guy.
Holy shit! What a perfect analogy. He was in New England, and Bill Belichick got the most out of him by hiding his weaknesses amongst a very good team.
Yep.
And so someone saw that and thought, I'm going to make him the guy. Sent him out there on his own, and he died a death. And because in the NFL, if you have one successful year, you'll get endless fucking chances.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're a quarterback, yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're a quarterback. If you've had one good, because they're hard to come by, There's a lot of Jay Cutlers in the world and not a lot of Aaron Rodgers. I hate to say that.
Mm.
And that's what happened. So and Roman Reigns was hidden in the Shield and had his strengths emphasized and weaknesses hidden for many, many months and years even. And now we're seeing that you send him out there. And yeah, I saw the Wade Keller tweet of someone tweeted him the video of him after Sheamus' music hit. He was on top of the ladder and he was waiting for Sheamus to come out. And then the music hit and he thought the camera wasn't on him anymore. And he just had this look on his face like he was defeated. Like he knew he was dying and he needed to be saved. And finally the Sheamus music hit and he just looked so beaten. Like, I can't do this. I'm not. He has to know that he's not any good at it. Not in the way that they. Now, I don't know how much I can blame scripting anymore. I don't know. I don't know how much I can blame scripting. Especially, I don't respect it either. If this is how he's scripted and he's not changing it. He doesn't have it in him to sit there and go, Vince, no. you hear all these interviews with Brad Maddox, right? And he's
Mad Braddox.
Mad Braddox, and he's his dad emailed me, by the way.
Really?
We'll talk about that off the air.
Oh, okay.
His
interesting.
But he's doing these interviews and he's going, it's a myth, this shit about not being able to talk to Vince. I want to talk to him, give him some ideas and stuff, whatever. Roman Reigns, you got to understand, you're the top guy. Fuck's he going to do? Not push you? What, he's pushed you despite monstrous pushback and shit ratings from his entire fan base? Go in there and tell him, I'm not calling Sheamus Tater Tots. Are you out of your fucking mind? Do you understand how much that would bury me? Vince McMahon pushed Shawn Michaels to this guy. Shawn Michaels was the biggest pain in the ass in the history of the universe when he was working with Vince. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the whole thing is that, yeah, they've created a culture of at WWE, and now this is, what we've heard and been told, and it's Meltzer and reports and everything. And even you saw it when he was talking to Austin of, well, everyone's scared to piss people off because there's nowhere to go. You don't have a WCW to go to. The territory days are gone. Well, they're scared to piss anybody off. And Vince is like, well, don't piss anybody off. I said, but at the same time, the people who were the most successful were the people who weren't afraid to piss him off. Hulk Hogan, who'd go in and constantly fight about money, who'd go in and constantly fight about his creative direction. Now, you can hate Hulk Hogan all you want. He was a fucking political player to the extreme, and he needed to be. You need to be. You have to be good at that shit. We've talked about this constantly. Psychos run the fucking world because they're the people who understand what they need to do to best position themselves. And apparently Roman Reigns is just a big old fucking softy, and he's scared to death to go in there and say, I'm not calling Sheamus Tater Tots for a fucking one pop, one night for the 58 people in the crowd who are going to think it's kind of fucking funny. It's not. I'm not The Rock. This is not what my character would do. Hogan did that. Stone Cold Steve Austin did that. The Rock probably just got over with the material. I don't know that he did that.
I think Rocky could probably get Tater Tots over. I mean, we would roll our eyes, but it would be trending on Twitter.
Well, remember he got Twinkie Tits over. He called Paul Heyman Twinkie Tits on logo. But so that's kind of that's his character. Triple H parlayed his love to going in getting after Vince into he's the motherfucking top guy in the company. Yep. Damn near. Who else? John Cena. Mm-hmm. John Cena will go in and do that. CM Punk finally went in and did that. Look what happened to this dude. Fucking pipe bomb and all this and that.
Yep.
Just go in there and go, fuck you, Vince. As someone who runs Cageside, again, it's not
with an iron fist. Just kidding.
I would have, and it's the same kind of thing. I have so much more respect for someone who comes to me and goes, this is the fucking deal, than someone who's like, okay, and just does everything I say and never once questions it. It's not what, leadership is. It's not just, you don't just, everyone do what I say. It's not a dictatorship here, I respect it so much more. Someone's like, I'm going to take your spot. Someone told me that, I would respect the hell out of that. And it's just no one, you know what I mean? And in WWE, everyone is too fucking afraid to tell Vince, no. Are you serious? No. This is not a good idea.
Oh, Tater Tots. I think the problem is, and I think it's a smarky thing to do to slam guys and girls, women who aren't wrestling fans. But I think that's part of what you're seeing here too, is that the guys, and this includes the Austins, and this includes The Rock, who is, he's got all these other aspirations, but listen to him talk about growing up and, hanging out with his dad and hanging out backstage and all that stuff. Guys that love the business and who watch it on their own are the ones that come up with different ideas, and they're protective of their characters, and they have a vision of what they want to do. And somebody like Reigns or somebody like Goldberg, who is in it because football didn't work out and they need some money, and somebody said, do what I say and you'll make a ton of it. If somebody told, I'm one of the pussies Geno's talking about. I don't go and question him about anything on Cageside. He tells me to do it. I say oh, yes, sir. I got no aspirations of climbing the ladder. I'm a pussy just like Roman Reigns. But the point being that the guys that aren't passionate about the art form or the business of pro wrestling or whatever are the ones that are least likely to go and argue with Vince, I think. And that's what you see in him. He's just there doing whatever they tell him to do. And
that's what he was talking about.
I'm not slamming him for it, but that's what he's doing, and it's.
You think that's what he was talking about the millennials? No one's reaching for the brass ring, and everyone's like, yeah, but they're totally reaching for the brass ring. Maybe that's what he means. Maybe no one's beating down his door anymore. Maybe there's no one. Maybe he got used to his top talent being headaches who were constantly, hey, the creative stuff, this isn't, gone are the days of Brett not doing the job in Montreal. Yeah. Gone are the days of guys telling Vince no. It's just, when they all say yes, and this is what happens. This is the result of everyone being too fucking scared to say no to Vince. And it's sad. At some point, you'd think somebody. And I think I was going back and looking at some stuff, and Colt Cabana asked Punk, "Who is it that goes to Vince?" And I think he only said him, John, Cena all the time. He said, "Big fucking surprise there, people."
Yep.
And then maybe Randy Orton. So the top pushed, most protected guys of the past decade are the guys who are in Vince, going after Vince the most. I don't know that that's a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, because there's certainly, you go to your boss and tell him, no, I wouldn't do that. I mean, if you don't want to, I don't do that. I didn't go to, I'm telling people to do that to me, but I don't do that to my boss. I'm coming for your spot, motherfucker. No. But it also is, you need to know your boss. You need to have that relationship. And I think that's the other thing about those guys too. They had a relationship with Vince McMahon. And maybe that's part of it. Build a relationship with the guy. Get to a point where you can say no to him. And that's the difference with what you're saying. You're saying I'm pussy like Roman Reigns. I would never do that. That's different. We have a relationship.
I know.
You built a relationship with me. So
I want to make the point that I'm not slamming Roman. I'm not.
Right. Yeah. He's not a bad guy for that.
It doesn't look like, and there's a lot going into this, because this makes me think of like if you read Jericho's first book, which whatever you think about Chris Jericho now, go read that fucking book because it's amazing.
Yeah.
He talks about, he has that relationship with Vince, but he talks about how he had to grow into that relationship with Vince, and part of how they started that relationship was it was back then Vince was the guy that recruited people to come to WWE. That doesn't happen anymore. There's guys in NXT talking about how I've never met Vince and I've been here for 2 years. So you're not. Their relationships are with somebody else somewhere else in the bureaucracy. They don't know this guy. They get up to the main roster, and he's fucking Vince McMahon. He's not just somebody who called them to ask what he was doing 4 years ago. Yep. So how do you grow that relationship? And then you get into the things like, of course, if you piss him off, you're going to be out there scrounging for bookings again, which you can make a decent living at, but it's not fucking wrestling on national television every week. There's a lot of problems. That's the thing. That's the thing about they're going to change Raw. They're going to fix Raw. There's no one thing you can do. This shit is broken 16 different ways. Yeah. And it's going to take some fundamental change in a lot of areas to make any difference.
And you want to compare it to NXT. NXT's an hour long. Raw's a 3-hour show. If you told me to watch a movie, even a new movie, every Monday, and it's a 3-hour show, and it's the same characters, I would literally rather do anything else. After even just a couple Mondays, even if I love the characters. And I used Pirates of the Caribbean or the Caribbean, or however you say it, on the Twitter machine last night. And I'm a huge Jack Sparrow fan. I think he's great. I love Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. I can't put up with a character for only so long. You have to evolve these people too. And I don't know that I've seen any evolution in a lot of these characters. They're just the same people. Nothing ever affects anything in the story, right? You look at television shows. The most popular show right now is The Walking Dead. The main character's name is, I think, Rick. Now, he started as a very certain, he was one character, right? Who he is now, 5 seasons in, 6 seasons, whatever it's been, is very different. Very different. Because the people who write that show understand that events occur and they affect you. They affect people. That's how you get people to care about the show, is that something happened and it created this, and now these people have to adjust because of that. In WWE, that's never the case. Ever fucking anything. Dude, Alberto Del Rio had fucking Roman Reigns and the cross arm breaker, which is just an arm bar. If you know anything about fighting or jiu-jitsu or submissions or just how to apply that hold.
Or human anatomy.
Yeah, or human anatomy or how to apply that hold and what it does. The very fucking last thing in the world that should happen next is a 250-pound man to come flying on top of you.
A flying oos!
Uso! And just land on a guy, and you'd have a broken arm. Snapped in half. And instead, Roman just gets up, doesn't sell that his arm is hurt in any way, shape, or form, hits a spear, wins match. This is why, that lack of attention to detail is why you'll never win us over. And it's part of why you'll never win the wider audience over, because they see that, and though they may not understand that that's part of the problem, it is part of the problem. It's absolutely one of the things that they see and they recognize as an issue, even if it doesn't just come to the forefront of their brain, right? Like it does with us, where it's like, well, that didn't make any fucking sense. And those things add up throughout a 3-hour program. Mm-hmm. And you're putting increased emphasis on the quality of your program just by the fact that it's a 3-hour show. Because then it's a time suck. It's an actual investment. I have to sit down and decide if I want to spend that much time on your show. With NXT, I can go, it's an hour. It's not even an hour. It's like a 55-minute show. Like I'm not wasting any. Like I can take a shit and watch the show. Like it's nothing. I'll put a dick on my head and watch the show. You know what I mean? I'll put the dick on my head and watch the show and then go to Walmart. Like it's so easy to do. And so it also allows for error. You can do 3 bad shows in a row with NXT and it's no big deal. You can do the squash, angle, pay-per-view. And that fucking formula works great for them. Mm-hmm. It's also a niche product with only so many fans, and there's a very good reason for that. So it's just a totally different beast. So I don't even think they should be trying to compare the two. But so you have such a long program, then you're refusing to go back down to 2 hours. So you need to understand that there's an increased emphasis on the quality of your show, because I have to decide whether or not I want to watch it every fucking week. And the quality is as bad as it's ever been. I mean, and how do you turn it around? You're going to have to go back to the basics. And so you're going to have a period of time where it's going to be kind of awful. You just retcon everything. Just get rid of all of it. Start from fucking scratch. Literally. I mean this. After TLC, they need to forget everything they're doing right now. Charlotte and Paige need to be done. Mm-hmm. Roman and Sheamus need to be done. Mm-hmm. Dean and Kev need to be done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm calling them Kev. Mm-hmm. New Day and Usos and Lucha Dragons, just start everything anew.
And the thing is, nobody would even notice, and that's the problem.
Nope. I did. I put up. Someone posted the Tater Tots image of Sheamus and Reigns in a Tater Tots ladders and chairs match.
Tater Tots.
Yeah, and I put it on Twitter, and someone was like, "Oh, so I haven't been keeping up. Is this legit?" It's like, no. He's like, well, because I could buy it as legit, including the sponsor. That's a problem. People understand that people think it's real when you're having a tater tot ladders and chairs match. Gee, what a stupid fucking company. Just tell basic stories too. You don't. NXT doesn't fucking reinvent the wheel.
Yep. I mean, that's what you steal from NXT, is that the fact that they use basic storytelling techniques, that they have characters who behave consistently, and you know what their motivations are, and you understand why they get into conflict with each other. And 3 hours is too fucking long, and it's a monumental task, and I feel for you. But look at maybe breaking it down into where different people are responsible for each hour, and say 1 hour is the deep. And you can cut and paste things. It doesn't have to be a straight hour of women or a straight hour of tag teams, but assign writers to these things and let them write the stories. Don't re-script things on the fly to try to pop a number and all of a sudden decide that Paige is going to, scream something horrible about dead people, and then a week later we're supposed to cheer her, or that we really want the racists to get back together because, boy, weren't they cute together, or whatever the fuck is going on.
Also, go ahead.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Done.
Well, also, live crowds are dumb as shit, because they did the Wyatt family came out when the League of Nations were doing their thing. And they were starting to do the This Is Awesome stuff. They were
bored. They
cheering
just trying to
for this
themselves.
And then the ECW geriatric showed up, and then the family showed up, and the crowd live was into it. So they probably think this is good. We thought chaotic, huge, literally 16-man tag team elimination breaker 1 9 10 4 good buddy match.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their idea of changing it up maybe for this week. And live, that got over. That went over. Like we can't, as dumb as it was to us, objectively looking at it as the quality of everything within the show and the stories that they're telling, and and it depends on what kind of viewer you are too, I guess. Now that I'm thinking of it, I'm in for the story, because I don't really, I don't really get off too much on two guys pretending to fight. It's kind of dumb as fuck. If you have a story and you're true to that story, and then you go all the way through and you use the match as a way to continue that story, that's what I'm into. All right. That's why Bayley, Eva Marie is such an awesome thing for me, even though, you dorky fucking little dorks are like, yeah, well, the work rate was bad. You're a mark. Shut up. You're dumb. You don't get wrestling. And their response to our problem was just throw wrestlers and have them do moves. Cool moves. I mean, and fine, you'll pop the crowd, but you're not going to fix anything. You're not telling a story,
Yeah,
and
I mean, NXT is a niche or a niche, however you say that.
Nike.
And the indies are like that. I mean, PWG has a passionate following, but there's also a lot of people that just aren't into it because it's mostly just context-free wrestling. They don't have. They usually have like one storyline going on a year, and that's it. Other than that, it's they fly in the hottest indie acts and they wrestle each other.
I'm not saying that's not cool either.
Exactly, I mean, but it's not. That's not something you can build 5 hours of TV a week around. It's something you can sell to a smaller audience with one show every 2 months or whatever PWG does.
That's what Disco and Russo were talking about, and that people got so mad at him about was that is great for PWG. The wide audience doesn't give a fuck. The wide audience is not going to care about your fake wrestling. They really don't, guys. I'm sorry. They don't give a shit about it when it's, that's why the Bayley Sasha stuff got over so well, is because everything was story. Everything in the match was story. That's why it was so good. Not because they were just doing cool moves. I mean, that's no fun at all. Like, Steve Austin, one of the biggest stars ever, we had a broken fucking neck the whole time. Like, the dude's legs were shaking, his body was so fucked, but he's doing just a couple moves, and they were forced to, they call it overbooking, which I hate that phrase because it makes it sound like it's bad when it's not. Right. They're just telling stories, and the match is just a way to help that story get to its conclusion. That's how it should be. Shouldn't just be moves. And not to say that there's not a place for that, but that's not the thing that's going to get them. That's not where the ratings are going to come from. Better matches is not going to equal ratings. I'm sorry to you, the dorks, whatever. It's just not the case.
There's a place for it because you have so much time to fill, but there's also no reason, and this goes back to, I can't even remember why we were yelling about this like a month ago, but it still holds true. You're in charge of everything. You control every aspect of it. So there's no excuse for not having a 20-minute spot fest between characters that we care about who have reasons to fight. Yeah. You can tell that story. I mean, that's what, look at I'm not saying that Bayley Sasha were spot fests, but they were long, work rate focused matches, but they also had a story behind them that everybody really, really cared about.
That's the big success.
So that's when you can do both. Right.
Yeah. You can do both. Possible. You can do the stuff where Sasha decides to fucking jump over the referee to the outside to Bayley because she's just that eager to beat the shit out of the girl or whatever. You have reasons for people doing these things, and there are consequences to everyone's actions, and you don't have any of that. It just feels so, it's insulting at this point. It's just an insult. It'd be like watching.
When they ask you to invest this much time in it, yeah, it is.
It'd be like watching the football game, and there's the quarterback throws a long bomb, and the receiver literally just kicks the defender in the dick. He falls over, and the receiver catches the touchdown pass, 80-yard bomb, and the refs ignored it.
I think Richard Sherman did that to Antonio Brown last week, but I'm not bitter.
They tripped. They tripped.
Sherman's a dirty bastard.
Yeah, right. But I'm just saying, and then the refs are like, well, I didn't see it. So, and there was just no consequences.
People complain about the officiating in the NFL, and they say that that's an insult, and it's sort of the same thing. I mean, because the NFL can hire different referees. They can train them differently. The WWE can write different stories. They have control over it, and the fact that they don't is a fucking problem.
It's just Vince.
Yep.
What else was happening on the show that we haven't talked about that we don't want to talk about?
So you're excited about Titus and Stardust?
Not really.
I thought this one to me felt forced. I like the other bits. I think Dave Walsh on Twitter was saying that he's not excited about it because there's no proof that it's going anywhere, which I think is a problem.
Oh, it's not.
They started last night, made it look like they're going to cast Titus in Goldust's role of bringing Cody back, which is just.
Someone said it's Booker T Goldust again.
Well, it's sort of that, but it's also they did. I mean, last night Titus was saying that when he was on commentary, he's saying like his goal is to bring the guy back, the other guy back.
What happened to Darren Young?
Apparently, according to today's Rumor Roundup, he's fine. They're not interested in pushing him right now.
I mean, all right, but yeah, and I guess.
I mean, I don't know. Titus is not young. Maybe you're just going to try to get like one Mark Henry main event run out of him or something.
I like Titus a lot.
So do I, but he's not. He's limited in the ring. He's a hot tag.
Super limited, yeah. He's a hot tag, and he just throws people.
Yeah.
There's no clotheslines. He just picks dudes up and tosses them.
And it's kind of awesome, but that's it. Yeah.
Definitely awesome. What is your shirt?
It's a Captain Marvel. It says Princess Sparkle Fists.
Oh, okay.
I'm a nerd.
Swagger and Del Rio is happening. Zeb and Mex America's done for.
We wanted a retcon, and they're going to do it. Apparently, they did it with Paige and Charlotte, and now they're just going to do it with this too. Oops, sorry, do over.
We didn't even talk about Paige and Charlotte, did we?
No, it's.
There's so much of the show that we don't talk about anymore, and then we're like, do we talk about that? Like, no, not really.
No. Well, and we always get to the point where like, is there anything else we want to talk about? And we're like, no.
Basically, the whole show. So we're at that point. We're like, is there anything else we want to talk about? No, I think we covered all of it. Dicks on heads, man.
Dicks on heads. Roman Reigns sucks. Yep, we're done.
And the Mex America thing's funny too because they broke up because Del Rio tripped over the Walmart scooter, which that's pretty funny. And then he got over by just driving the scooter away, which is kind of sad but really funny. Swagger's a dipshit. We're going to put over Handstock. He was on some extra hard drugs last night. And when Swagger was yelling at Colter, he's like, why is Jonathan Taylor Thomas yelling at that old man? That was the second best tweet of the night.
That's an obscure reference, too. But
that's pretty great.
Tool time, baby.
As a big Home Improvement fan, I quite enjoyed that. The Charlotte Paige stuff. All I can say about that, I can't ignore. So what they've done is, it's a good thing that Charlotte has become self-aware, right? And she's the heel now because finally she's like, okay, my dad's Ric Flair. I'm awesome. Rolex. And, whatever. I don't know that you get that over very well by putting him in there with Miz, who's just the most hateable motherfucker alive, and he's really good at being hateable. So I want to hate him more than I want to hate you. And Ric Flair, for as great as he was in the past, doesn't belong on TV. He's not even a shell of what he used to be. Used to be one of the best promos ever, and that's gone. I don't think he should be on TV anymore based on how he was last night. But I can't ignore what Paige did a couple weeks ago. You brought up her dead brother. You fucking went as far and as nasty as you could, and now people are cheering Paige because Charlotte has turned heel. What a mess. What an epic fucking mess. I understand that you tried to write like that didn't happen. And that's a problem because, you know, we talk about The Walking Dead or any other fucking show, you can't just act like an episode that happened 2 shows ago didn't happen. It did. You have to account for that. So if you're going to do it, just fucking do it. Who cares about this backlash, right? It got you publicity. I mean, you know, you didn't sell any shows on it, but fuck, you did it. Just own it. I don't know. So it's just weird that Paige is getting cheered now.
Yeah, and and then she never really stopped getting cheered. I don't feel. I mean, it completely failed to get any heat on her as a heel.
It got heat on creative for doing it.
Right. It got heat on the company. Yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, the most likable person in the feud. Bizarre. The most likable person in this entire program was not on the show last night. Her and her goggles were backstage.
Doing fucking up, down videos, talking in a German accent for some reason. It was the greatest thing.
So the best wrestler and the most likable character in the entire feud is not on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't care. I mean, as with the Sasha stuff, I'm glad that they're sort of rebooting and getting back to what made them. Because Charlotte was best as a heel in NXT. Sasha, you know, just needs to be the fuck out of pointless matches. So even if it is sort of as goofy sidekick girl for a little while, it gives her a chance to connect with the audience, which will
Unity!
Unity!
Worst fucking thing I've ever heard.
Love it!
Of course you do. You're an awful person.
Love it. All right, go watch fucking Juvenile Puns with Becky Lynch. Go watch Apple bullshit.
I actually like Unity because I'm supposed to hate these people. And now I finally do. I want them to die in a fire.
Which is Kane's idea for how to promote SmackDown's move to USA.
Their characters, huh?
He's still the SmackDown commercials, which are sort of a problem themselves because it's like Wacky Wyatt family and good guy activity.
I like them.
They're fine, but WWE wants to have their cake and eat it too with Kayfabe.
Oh, don't complain about Kayfabe. It's a fucking commercial.
Oh,
you're doing the Sasha thing. Complain. Come on, dude. We got to keep kayfabe in commercials. We see these people on the streets. Does there need to be smoke following Undertaker everywhere? Come on, guys.
I missed the days when that was true, though. I told you I'm old. I'm not crazy about likable New Day. I don't know.
Yeah,
it bugs me a little bit.
Corny.
But Kane's plan for it, he's still working on the details, but involves setting something on fire. And I laughed. So
political hit on Reigns continues because his commercial is literally he doesn't know how boxes work. And then he just rips the box, which I thought, well, that was not only dumb, but made him look bad. I don't understand what the point of that was. Yeah. So that was good. The Slammys commercial. The Slammys commercial, dude. LOL, OMG. I can't even. That's shoot. That's what they fucking said.
This shit's on fleek.
On fleek. Yeah, I forgot about that. On fleek. First of all, what happens when you're off fleek? And secondly, did they find a 14-year-old Tumblr user and say, help us make this promo?
I think, to answer your questions in order, in reverse order, I think they found like a 45-year-old pedophile pretending to be a Tumblr user and got them. Well, maybe not a pedophile, just a 45-year-old who wants to be a 14-year-old Tumblr user because I don't think actual kids would be a part of that or throw all that jargon at you right away like that. So I think that's somebody who's out there, you know, catfishing people as a 45-year-old. And when you're off fleek, I think you have to wear a dick on your head.
Nice. We just keep coming back to dicks on heads.
Dicks on heads is definitely the new strong guy McHard trade.
McHard body?
Yeah, I don't know. McRough trade, I don't know.
Body. I've run out. Someone asked me last night, they're like, how do you keep coming up with these? I'm like, I have no idea. Because it got to a point last night where I was like, okay, I got to come up with one. And I sat there for like 2 minutes thinking about it, and I was like, it's jump the shark. If I'm sitting here like struggling, fuck it. But
and he's not that interesting a character anymore. I know he hugged out Tommy Dreamer last night and everything, but
he hugged out Dreamer. Man,
he hugged him out.
I'm gonna hug this guy.
He was gonna drink his blood or something. I don't know. So
which is just it's funny because he's just a It's like, or what, dude? You'll hug me? Right? Like,
or you and your boys will lose to a bunch of 50-year-olds?
Yeah, like first of all, your crew got beat by Tommy. I just got concussed sneezing Dreamer. And okay, and then again, or what? Are you gonna give me a hug and put me to sleep? Like, that sounds wonderful. It's kind of late. I've had dinner already. It's like, fuck you, dude. How stupid.
I'm home from Walmart where I was walking around with a dick on my head. Yeah, I would just like to be cuddled to sleep now.
Exactly. So where are you, big ass McStrong man? Do this, and your beard might tickle me. Like, that's your most effective offense. Beard tickling in the hug, and I can't escape the hug. That's what it is. It's like he's tickling people and won't let them go. What a devastating finisher.
They hyperventilate and pass out. They're laughing so hard.
That's what it is. That's the finish. It's hyperventilating and passing out. There was a Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler match on this show.
I think it was about 2 hours and 45 minutes worth of the show, too.
They were trying. It just wasn't working. If you were like, it was a great match. No, it's not. But I did like that.
Was it a title match?
It was a non-title match. They made sure to point that out on the Raw pre-show. But I did like that Breeze got an entrance and went and sat and he watched the match and just, that was it. He didn't get involved in any way, shape, or form. Did you watch the Up, Up, Down, Down video that I put up?
The one where Ziggler kicks him?
Out of nowhere, and Xavier Woods freaks out and shuts the stream down. I mean, it's so fucking... I don't know why that was funny, but...
I don't know.
It's so fucking... It's hilarious that these guys are better creatively when they just get the freedom than they are on TV when they don't have the freedom. Yeah. But he just watched the match and didn't interrupt and was all right. He lost. Cool shit. And then left.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Then Dean Ambrose showed up.
Yeah, the popcorn.
You're beaten.
This is how I felt last night. It's like that. There's jokes there that can be made. I don't even care. It's just
the guy that came out.
Here comes Dean with popcorn
and the fucking soda. The Coca-Cola presents the Slammy Awards. It's OMG LOL can't even on fleek. Yeah, he came out and then look. Bad things should happen to bad people. That's the gist of how WWE tends to look at you.
That's pro wrestling storytelling, yeah.
Yeah, if you're a bad guy, then they just do bad shit to you, you know? And, like, Vince built his whole character out of that, him and Austin. Austin just fucking terrorized the poor guy, really. He should have PTSD based on everything Stone Cold did to him. Made him piss his pants in the ring with a fake gun that went bang 316. I can't believe the shit they did back then.
Beat him up with his own bedpan.
Poured concrete in his fucking Corvette. Yeah, dude's in the hospital just trying to recover and then pissing in a pan. Dude's getting hit over the head with it. Probably would have put a dick on his head if that could have happened. Might have done that anyway.
That might have cheered him up, though, so I don't know. They might have not let him. If he really wanted to put the dick on his head, and Stone Cold wouldn't let him.
I'd like to know if Vince was in Gorilla with the dick on his head. I want Vince to wear the dick on his head at some sort of business engagement and pretend like there's not a dick on his head. Just go
right,
forward.
just like, show up to the investor conference call with a dick on his head. Not that we'd be able to see him because it's a call and not a video, but, you know.
Start talking about churn and the WWE Network with a dick on his head. No, but bad things happen to bad people, but you still have to set that up as the problem. And Owens had not done anything wrong. He won a match, and he just wanted his music to play so he could walk to the back.
He didn't even cheat to win.
He didn't even cheat. He just won a match. That's it. They booked him in a match. He wrestled. He won the match. He went to get his title and was like, hey, why is my music not playing? Why is this guy's music playing? Oh, hello, Dean. Oh, there's fucking Coke in my face. And popcorn. What in the world?
Why are they feuding? This is why this show is inept. Why are they feuding? I mean, the Intercontinental title is on the line, yes, but like Dean had to fight to get that. Well, he didn't have to fight. Roman had to get disqualified, or what I see. Fuck this show. Roman had to win by DQ for Dean to get his match against Owens, but Owens and Dean haven't. Last night was like the only interaction they've had in between the two pay-per-views, right?
Remember, at the pay-per-view, Dean beat Kev
I
in
know.
semifinals. And so the idea is you beat him in the World Title Tournament, you should get an Intercontinental title shot.
But we should get promos on the show, like with Dean saying what you just said, and Kevin saying, bullshit, you beat me once, you got lucky. I mean, this kind of stuff we get behind the scenes, but it should be on the show. It shouldn't be we get nothing except for popcorn.
That's why it was such a stupid thing to do. Because they had one opportunity to set the, I guess SmackDown, but who watches that program?
So they're going to have a contract signing on SmackDown.
They're going to have there you go. That's what they decided to do.
But nobody watches SmackDown.
I mean, well, we're at a point where we're not that far away. 2 million. SmackDown gets 2 million views a week. Raw gets 3 million. They're actually not as far away as we think.
Yeah.
So there's 1 million people, and we're 2 of them, who are just like, Tanya was like, I'm done doing SmackDown reviews. And I basically was like, please don't go. This means I'll have to watch this program, and I'll just not do recaps. I'll throw up a video playlist and just be done with the shit, which is what I had done earlier this year. Mm-hmm. Looking back on grades for shows. Speaking of which, before we get out of here, I got to call you out.
Yeah, what do I do?
Have a have a friend on Twitter. The Twitter machine. Let me make sure because I promised I'd shout him out because he hit me up recently. Sent me a DM. Bailey Adams. What's up, Bailey? Shout out to you. He's a buddy now. He's a friend of mine. And he said, hey, man, I thought Sean said he never gives A+. I said, yeah, you're right. He doesn't. He said, yeah, didn't he say he never, even for takeover shows, he refuses to give A+.
What, did I give our Evolution an A+?
And then he sent me a screenshot. Sean Rueter, A+ for Takeover our Evolution. So, Sean, you're a fucking liar.
Sorry. That's still, I'm okay with that because, one, if I knew exactly which show I would break it for. That is still my favorite wrestling show of like the last 5 years. I think start to finish, that show is as close to, in retrospect, I probably only should have given it an A because there's probably something I could find that would be better, but it's as close to perfection as I can recall. That's my favorite show.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm a liar.
Glad you weren't a stingy fucking.
Me and Eddie Guerrero lied. We lied.
Guerrero, A+. So yeah, shout out to Bailey Adams for calling you out and having me call you out.
Nice.
Which is
I know that makes you happy when you can tell me I'm a liar and wrong.
Oh, absolutely. You fucking liar. So. It's funny, too, because you're not going to be doing the recap for NXT TakeOver London.
No.
Now, I'm sad about this because you're on a streak. Every TakeOver this year has received at least an A from you. Everyone. And the last one of the year, you won't be doing the grades for. That saddens me.
Well, however, I could still chime in and let you know what my grade would be.
Do that.
I just can't watch it at 3 p.m. on that day. It's a fucked up week for me work-wise. And
cool, do that.
3 p.m. is a problem. So I can still give you my reactions after my guest, after the big timer that I recruited to do it in a timely fashion gives you his. Yeah,
do that. Because I'm doing the thing where I got all the Raw grades this year, 4 Fs. There was an F earlier this year. 4 Fs this year. Unprecedented.
Wow. What was the other one? Was it the one with where Roman and Brock played tug of war with the belt?
No, I think that got like a C-. I don't know. It's been a bad year based on my grades for Raw. And then NXT grades, which I don't think you've ever gone lower. I think you've given 1 D. It was a D+. But other than that, it's basically A's and B's.
Yeah, that's it, usually.
I mean, you're a big fan of the show.
Yeah.
The 2 shows that Handstock reviewed, Raw, were both A+. I think there was some cocaine sprinkled all over the recap.
Billy.
He's been sniffing up.
Ecstasy, I think he takes. I don't think Coke would do that. You'd be pissed off if you did a bunch of Coke. I think you got to be on E or something.
Molly or whatever the new hot drug is.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're on fleek and Molly.
I remember those days.
Yeah, sorry.
What else was on Raw before we go? Lucha Dragons beat New Day with a distraction finish from the Usos. Not a big fucking surprise, trombone.
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, I love New Day and everything, but I don't even remember that they're tag champs. I don't care who's chasing them as tag champs.
Yeah, they're just their act is fun for what it is, kind of, but it's also, you know, you're not leading it.
I think you should just go ahead and make them faces because they're not. I mean, they try to be heels, but nobody cares. So at least if they were baby faces, then you could build heels that people would hate who went after them, and they could just be like a DX face team that makes fun of everybody. But they're pretending they're heels isn't helping anything.
Yeah, they're not heels, and it's you know, you're not. They're getting there because they're starting to really grate on my fucking nerves. Yeah, just like Team Bad with the unity. I'd rather be deaf than hear you say that again. Like I'd rather be raped in the ear than hear that fucking. That I don't want it again. So it's
I thought you wanted to set them on fire.
They're getting there. Yeah, they're characters to die in a fire.
Right. All right. So you want them to die in a fire, and you would rather be, if they can't die in a fire, you would rather be raped in your ear than have to listen to them.
To cause just enough blunt force trauma to the ear ball.
Luckily, WWE Shop sells a product which makes it really easy to hear with somebody now.
So someone put a dick on your head and just spear me in the ear.
Just like that. Emotion just like that.
Yes.
What if... To throw back to a previous Cageside Live, what if Devon did the what's up headbutt with a dick on his head?
Oh my God! How effective
would be worse than Jimmy Uso getting kicked in the nads.
Man,
who got kicked? Which of did the Usos? Did they kick somebody in the nads or? I can't
Who even knows?
You did the post. You were the one up until 5 a.m. doing random posts about shit.
My sleep schedule has gotten all fucked, and so I'm up real late these days. Yeah, and I'm just like, fuck it, I might as well work. You know, we got people all the way across the world who are still awake. It's 5, you know, it's 5 at night for them when it's like 2:30 a.m. here. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll do some posts. Hits are good.
Right. So what else happened on Raw was your question?
What else? What did we miss? Let's get to it. Get out of here.
We talked about Del Rio. We talked about women wrestling.
I got there's a recap on the fucking site, and I'm not looking at it. What else happened?
I don't want to read that. Some hater who always gives it an F writes that. I don't want to read.
Yeah, some fucking. There's just no pleasing
you. You just don't know how to be entertained.
Yeah, there's no pleasing you. It's like, all right, wait till next year when I let Heenstock do all the Raw recaps, and every show gets an A, and you're going, this fucking guy's a lunatic. Like, my Sepultura Soulfly references got over. That was nice. Miz and Neville.
Neville, I was going to say, yes, Donnie Deutsch, whoever the fuck that is.
Who the fuck is Donnie Douche?
He is the straight Chrisley.
Great.
I don't know who he is.
And then we talk. Oh, Ryback and Rusev. That's all that's left to talk about. So we had fun on Cageside Live today. We'll talk to you. I don't know. I don't think there's much to say.
Yeah, I don't know. We went from like being confused about what they were doing with Lana to just totally not giving a shit in 1 week. That's like fucking record time.
It's pretty clear they're being punished by just nonsensical booking. Wait, that's the whole show.
Yep.
Fuck this show.
Are you excited for TLC?
What?